All right. I guess I'm just gonna make another reaction to debate videos because I don't know. This wasn't planned, but God, this woman is so insufferable that I feel like it would be interesting to react to this. Gothix is trash, but I'll leave that for you to decide, or whatever. All right, I'm gonna get back to what I was doing. Lord Jesus, she's insufferable. Hunter, Hunter is good. Uh, Gothic's bad. Yes. The grift.
So I would agree with you there, but I think that
Also, I'm
we
not
might still
restarting
need to
it. You're
find
just
common
gonna have
ground. So
to
let me try to explain this really quick.
look at the
So
original video.
it's this doesn't have to be a dichotomy. So it's not actually systemic racism versus pull yourself up by the bootstraps. I believe that, I mean, let's look around in this country that we live in. There are systems, quote unquote, in every facet of life, more or less, right? We have the criminal justice system. That's the system that we go through if we're being prosecuted for a crime or whatever. We're all sort of a product, more or less, of the systems around us. So I agree with you that within these systems, absolutely you should work to quote unquote pull yourself up by the bootstraps, work as hard as you possibly can to maximize your outcomes. However, the systems in place, you don't always have individual control over that. So when we're talking about personal responsibility, that's something that needs to be instilled on a family level. That's not really something that the government can necessarily do. What the government can do as far as policy is provide stronger social safety nets and whatnot. And with that also, we can talk about systemic racism and how that manifests itself. And again, I just want to be crystal clear. When I'm talking about systemic racism, I am not saying that black people are incapable.
They always
Shit.
told me
I'm
to
getting
wait,
sick of this ad. Please stop.
to wait until others jumped in first.
Capable of doing anything because racism is in their way. I'm simply saying that there are actually systems in place that have been empirically proven to disproportionately negatively affect black people, and we can fix that without needing to talk about like, or without even ever bringing up like white people bad or black people can't do it or whatever.
Can you give me an example of like a system?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the criminal justice system is a very clear cut one about basically when we look at like I mean, even if we want to go to like so police violence, we talk about this a lot, and I know the response to that is, well, black people commit more crime, and
Blah blah
the
blah.
I would say, yeah, that's true, but why do black people commit more crime? And it's because they are in communities that are disproportionately poor, and with poverty comes more crime. It's absolutely true that you can't deny this. This is an empirically proven fact. And
It's
the reason they are in these disproportionately poor areas is due to policies in the past, like redlining, that
yeah.
forced black people into
The
less than ideal
fuck?
communities and deprived them of being able to
What
actually
is
build
this?
equity in this like amazing country at the time. They were prohibited from doing that, and we all can recognize how policies can have generational impacts. This is still hurting the black community today.
Okay, respectfully, you are making a generalized statement about the black community when you say that.
Huh?
No, I'm
I
not.
grew up,
No,
I am
it's
I
not
not.
grew up
generalizing at all.
in the hood, and I have a cousin right now that is incarcerated for several things, and he
Okay.
was in a good family, family members, entrepreneurs. He got caught up in the wrong friend group
Hmm.
and did stuff because he wanted to be cool.
Was
Why
he
does
like
that
gang
friend group
violence and stuff?
exist, my friend?
Yes,
Right. So
over and over and over and over
The
again. I'll
people
say
like that
this,
friend group. Why
they
do they
they
exist?
inject themselves into that through means of culture. It's not something
Yeah, where
that
does
is
that culture
unique to
come
the
from, you
area of black
moron?
people and crime. Yeah, let's get to the bottom of that. Why is it that crime is so high? Why are crimes getting committed? Why are crimes getting committed in the
hmm
first place? I've been Listen, I've been
What
laid
is
off. I've
happening?
had negative balance in my checking account. I've had some terrible living situations. I've never stabbed nobody. I've never killed
I'm
nobody.
not
That's
asking
he's
about
not
I'm not
saying.
asking about your personal experience necessarily because I can't speak to
I
that.
get
But I'm
that.
also
There are
not
outliers. Not
generalizing
everybody's
anything.
gonna
It is an
react the same way,
empirically
but
proven fact that black people disproportionately live in poverty. That does not mean that all black people live in poverty. That
Why?
doesn't mean that just if someone is black,
Why?
they live in poverty. I just
Why?
explained to you
oh
the
my
reason why
god.
is due to Yes, largely policies like redlining and the drug war. So, for example, we have the policy of the drug war, which was implemented with explicit intent to screw over the black community. That is what Nixon said. He said we couldn't make it be illegal to be black, but we could associate the blacks with crack cocaine and heavily criminalize the cocaine.
Yeah.
So when we talk about like the fatherlessness issue in these black communities, part of that is due to the fact that a bunch of black people are being disproportionately locked up for rather minor drug offenses.
Yeah.
This tears families apart again.
No, I'm sorry. You know what tears?
It's
It's
not
not
just,
just
where does
culture.
that
Why do they
culture
have that
come
culture?
from?
What tears families apart is the enabling of that bad behavior. We are talking about people that are committing crimes and then saying that they get screwed over. You committed
That's
a
not what they're
crime.
saying.
You gotta own up to
But
it.
they're not saying that. First of all, they're
And
not.
also,
Personal responsibility.
I gotta push back also. You just said
God,
something
your
about
fucking
that,
racist white
that
audience
the reason that
loves you
people
for
are
these talking
intolerant is
points.
because of something dealing with the whatever. I'm gonna
Fuck.
go look this up. I don't know exactly what the how they label the stats, but there is something that you can find data on this where it shows you that black people in America rank the lowest when it comes to financial maintenance, when it comes to opening up a savings account, building
Yes.
You know there's a reason for that, right?
Spend more on physical goods.
But why is that?
Chris Rock went into this. Actually,
But why? But why did he use
no,
this?
no,
Like,
no, 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 no,
it's
no,
amongst
no, 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 pause, instantly, right now. Chris Rock went into this, and he explained it perfectly. There's a reason why this happens, and I can't put it into words better than Chris Rock at this point. So you're gonna have to see this for yourself. Because Lord have mercy, what she is saying is not wrong, but she does not want to delve deeper into why it is this way. Why do black people behave this way? Where does this behavior come from? Let Chris Rock's comedy speak for itself. Rich versus wealthy. This is real shit right here. Chris Rock is speaking some real truth. I hope this is the right clip.
Drugs in America. Okay, the first reason they will never legalize drugs.
Oh, and he talks about drugs too. I forgot about this. This is perfect for the
Drugs in America.
subject.
Okay, the first reason they will never legalize drugs.
Oh my God. Please. Please load. This must be seen. The FBI is on to me. They're on to me. They're everywhere.
Drugs in America is because the
Experience.
government makes way too much money putting our brothers and sisters in fucking jail. Okay, that's first of all. Okay.
Amen.
For bullshit. The second reason the government will never legalize drugs in America is because, you know, God forbid some brown people got wealthy. Can't have that, because drugs come from brown countries. We can't have wealthy brown people. There are no wealthy black or brown people in America. We got some rich ones. We don't got no fucking wealth.
Yep.
So, what's the difference? Here's the difference. Shaq is rich. The white man that signs his check is wealthy. Here you go, Shaq. Go buy yourself a bouncing car.
Yep.
Bling, bling. I'm not talking about rich. I'm talking about wealth, okay? I'm talking about the white family that owns all the fucking Similac. Those rich motherfuckers,
Yep.
okay? I'm talking about the white family that owns the color blue. Those rich bastards, okay? I ain't talking about Oprah. I'm talking about Bill Gates. Okay? If Bill Gates
Bill
woke
Gates.
up tomorrow with Oprah's money, he'd jump out a fucking window.
He's not wrong.
On the way down. I hate it. I can't even put gas in my plane. I'm not talking about rich. I'm talking about wealth. Because wealth will set us fucking free, okay?
Yep.
Wealth is empowering. Wealth can uplift communities from poverty, okay? A white
Yep.
man gets wealthy, he builds Walmarts and makes other white people have some motherfucking money. A brother gets rich, he buys some motherfucking jewelry, okay? You know what the
Right.
fuck I'm talking about? I ain't talking
Right.
about rich, I'm talking about wealth. Wealth is passed down from generation to generation.
Yep.
You can't get rid of wealth. Rich.
Nope.
Some shit you can lose with a crazy summer and a drug habit.
And that's true shit. People win a lottery,
Rick
get
James was rich.
they get fucked.
1 minute you're singing Super Freak, the next minute you're doing the Old Navy commercial. Give it to me, baby. Give me corduroy. Not talking about rich, I'm talking about wealth. Now don't get me wrong. It's not all white people's fault that black and brown people don't have any fucking wealth. Maybe, now just maybe if we didn't spend all our money on rims, we might have some to invest. We don't give a fuck, boy. Black people, we love rims.
Yo, why do we do that? Why do we buy rims? Because it's very rare for black people to attain even richness. Like he put this shit perfectly. There's a reason why, and he just laid it out perfectly with that fucking comedy, bro. Oh my god, it's so good. Does he actually go into the rims thing later on?
They will never. We don't give a fuck, boy. Black people, we love rims. We will put shiny ass rims on any piece of shit car in the world. We don't give a fuck. A brother put rims on a toaster if you let him.
Yep.
Yo, man, I got some raisin toast sitting on 22s.
Ain't that a bitch?
22s. Look at him, motherfucker. Look at him. And they spinning, nigga. They spinning. They spinning, nigga. They spinning. They spinning, nigga. They spinning. We don't give a fuck. Money's new to black people. It's new to us.
Exactly.
We the most money-wasting motherfuckers on the face of the earth. We spend money like we think the shit's gonna rot, okay?
Yep.
Brothers riding around with TVs in the headrest of the car. The TVs is on and ain't nobody in the back seat. I ain't talking about rich. I'm talking about wealth.
Lord have mercy. Fucking Chris Rock is hilarious, bro. And clever as shit, too. Alright, back to the Hunter versus Gothix.
On how to better handle money. And when you lack that you lack education because you're living in poverty and the local schools are funded by your tax dollars. So when you're living in poverty, you also get a lesser education, which puts you in a situation where you're more likely to make those decisions. Also, just really quick, people in your chat keep saying it's culture. There can be a cultural element to it, but again, we would have to ask why that culture is.
Exactly.
And secondly, where people say, I'm a white messiah or trying to educate a black woman. Very nice identity politics, guys. But anyway.
Can we not? I'm a black person. I agree with everything Hunter's saying. He's right for saying this stuff. He's not a white savior.
Identity politics. You're invoking identity politics right now.
He doesn't have a
Doesn't
white
matter.
savior complex.
But this is what you're doing is the equivalent of someone telling me I can't have an opinion because I'm white.
I did not say that.
You're saying that it's ironic that I'm white telling a black person about something. You're invoking identity
Yeah.
politics.
This is literally the
Your argument
Posh versus Flowers debate. They pull the race card because how dare a white person criticize a black person even when they're wrong when it comes to black issues.
Also, you did say
God, what if John Brown existed today and he was like
has to do with being
talking shit about Candace Owens?
right? Is that what you were saying earlier?
Well, when it
People
comes to
will be
personal
going
responsibility,
in on John
that's
Brown,
something
and
that
he's
needs to be
fully
fixed
on
within
black
that.
people's
But when we're
side.
actually talking about opportunity, and these communities largely lack opportunity. We're talking about
Candace is not.
policies like investing money to try to build up businesses. A rough idea I thought of is like incentivizing businesses to establish there. Trump actually, unfortunately, it didn't quite work out as well as it could have, but Trump, credit to him, he had a really good idea called, I think they were called, there were opportunity zones where he was incentivizing businesses that could go in these black communities. And although it ended up not quite working out how it was supposed to, the idea was 100%
I wonder why.
there.
Should actually look into
there are
that.
policies that we can take to fix these issues on a
I'm not just
broad
gonna,
sense, and then
like,
there's an
okay.
individual way that we can fix these issues within the family. But the government and
Pause. I want to be clear about something. Like, when I'm being charitable to Trump, I already don't like him. It's just, I generally am charitable to people, just in general, even to people I strongly dislike, like Trump. So, which is why I say I might have to look into that to see why, because it could be Trump's fault, or it could be something else outside of Trump that Trump may or may not have had control over. But I'm willing to bet that it's probably Trump's fault why it didn't work out as well as it should have.
policy, that doesn't really mesh with the family very often. Usually it's the government trying to make like a broader policy, right, to affect large groups of people.
Here's your chance to learn at home and create a rewarding career. Go to
Hunter.
mycareer.edu and take the free career
Hunter.
evaluation right now. You could start
This is all your fault. This ad that I'm looking at right now that is in my face, this is your fault, my friend. Look at what you did to me. Fucking bastard. Unsubscribing from your channel. How dare you put an ad in my face? Piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. Bitch ass nigga. Fuck you. Fucking ugly ass.
If you're saying that,
Unsubscribe.
I believe,
Bitch ass nigga putting a fucking ad in my face, nigga. Who the fuck you think you are, bitch?
of something that someone would need to succeed in life.
Fucking
And if
put another
that
ad in my
is the
face. I
case,
come over there,
I
your
think
fucking house and fold your ass, nigga. What the fuck?
any policy, no
Who the
movement,
fuck you think you is putting that ad in my
that would
face?
be able to force
Nigga.
someone in order to have that personal responsibility until you actually address the problem. And my frustration, to make it very clear, comes from when I deal with people who does not have that real life experience, and I have seen these things growing up, and telling me that this is something that can be fixed on a societal level or on a system level, when I know that some people simply don't have that ability to self-reflect or use personal responsibility. And
Okay.
you're making
Not-
it more difficult.
Well, the couple things
How?
is when you invoke your lived experience, again, that is by definition identity politics. It's not bad if you want to bring in identity politics, but you should just admit that it's identity politics.
Yep.
What are you basing your position on?
What do you mean?
Data, logic, facts, and evidence. Like you people like to parade around like you're better than the left because that's what you use, when in reality you're just using
I don't need
feelings.
to base it anything on my like personal experience. Rather, I'm able to base it on looking at like from a policy level. Again, I'm not trying to tell black people that they need to just go like do better or whatever. I'm talking about broad policy again. So I want to lay out an example for you. So I agree that having the drive to go out and work for what like the best outcome you can get in this life is absolutely important, and that is a value that should be instilled in the home. But let me lay out a scenario. Let's say in the home there's the mom and the dad, and they instill these values that say you need to work really hard, you need to do as best you possibly can, okay? And then their child goes out, and maybe they're living in one of these poor communities, and then you know what would happen? They go and apply for a job. And you know what? If they have a black sounding name, I'm sure you've heard this study brought up repeatedly.
Yeah.
It's come up multiple times. It's been replicated.
It is a
multiple
very
times too.
real thing.
Black sounding names are less likely to get callbacks when they apply for jobs. So that right there is a way that bias can affect black people, even if they are working, like you said, taking personal experience, taking personal responsibility, doing the absolute best thing they can possibly do. They could still run into roadblocks outside of their control due to systemic racism. Again, it's not a dichotomy. Rather, it's just work as hard as you can, and let's also address some of these systemic inequalities.
I don't believe that someone is doing the best as they can.
Bruh, cite your sources. Bro, these white people. Oh my god.
That wasn't how it was
The
done.
white people in that chat.
So that would have been a
God,
vote.
they're
First
so
of all,
dumb.
you should shit on that, because that would have been using a personal experience.
Use your
That's what you
brain.
just tried to use
That's how it
on me.
is.
Second of,
finished, I'd be able to finish my argument.
well,
I'm pretty sure this has been studied like extensively.
This is going great.
Nobody
the
just
snark
to look
isn't
at
really
it.
helping, but it's okay.
You know what? It's that Puerto Rican and Cape Verdean. I just got to use my identity politics when I can. It is what it is.
Okay.
So
She's such a fucking
We were talking about the
child.
call thing, and your chat said this.
Can I step in
Well, yes, just really quick, I want to address someone said that study was done like a decade ago. Two really quick things. One, you're right, it was done a decade ago, and then it was replicated again, and then again. So it's been done actually 3 different times. Second of all, it wasn't just one experience or whatever, it was actually a controlled study where they sent out resumes that were identical, and the only thing that was different was a black sounding name, and the black sounding names were significantly less likely to get a call back. People are saying I sound like a racist. Again, we're pulling the Hunters talking about stats that makes him racist card. Not sure what the point of that is, but again, I just wanted to address that really quickly.
Fucking childish when they say that shit.
I remembered what I was gonna say. Okay, so okay,
Should not be treating our white brothers like this, man. We should.
my point that I was
Justice for the whiteys.
that I often hear that as an argument about black people being disproportionately whatever. I look at that as an excuse. If we're talking about pulling straps and persevering and overcoming adversity, my first thought is, why the hell would anyone want to work for a job that wanted to discriminate because of your name anyway? And
they shouldn't be that.
They should want. Okay, how many jobs? There are plenty of jobs that are like that. That just narrows it down to a few establishments. There are a lot of people. A lot of employers that will behave racially like this.
Well, there are laws against that. Like, yeah, you definitely shouldn't.
And there are laws against that.
Point being, having the choice to make your choice in life. I didn't say that life was going to be easy or nicer and everyone's not going to be mean to one another. I said that is the reality, that people will always be mean
but
to
don't
one
you
another.
well yeah but
Shouldn't
don't you
we
think
be
it's
pushing
lame that people are not able to
It is lame.
Isn't it lame that people, if they're
So shouldn't we
cursed
do
with a
something about it?
black-sounding name, they're suddenly like less likely to get hired in certain aspects? Like,
Can't we
that's a way
do something about it?
But that's a way that black people are specifically disadvantaged compared to white people.
So you're
That would
saying
be
sit
systemic
there,
racism. You're
suck it up,
conceding
and
my
do
point.
nothing about it? When it's a
That's
widespread problem and it's not just a select few
So then you're
employers
just
that are
living in denial
doing
again,
that?
which is so you realize what you're saying, which is no matter what happens, it's just on them to do better. It's just on them to do better no matter what. Which is
It's all their
unrealistic
fault.
ultimately when we're talking about broad systems. I already conceded that they should do as
White
well
man
as they
talking
can.
right there.
But if you're being discriminated against simply because your name sounds ethnic or whatever, that is absolutely a way that black people are disadvantaged compared to white people, and that would be systemic racism.
Yep.
Correlation doesn't equal causation. I never said it did, but again, there was a significant decrease there. It was far more than just correlation.
All I'm saying is that systemic racism or not, this conversation, the semantics of what is occurring in society, the systemic racism, because I just put it bluntly, how bad do they want the job?
But they're not even getting.
Oh my god. They're not even getting, like, the chance at all. Oh, that's a Shaniqua? Not even talking to her, not accepting her call, not even gonna answer. She tells me that name, I'm gonna hang up immediately. Well, they probably won't hang up immediately, they'll be like, yeah, sorry, we don't have any positions open for you at the moment. But good luck out there, though. Yeah, I'm sorry.
In between plays. Hot yoga.
I'm sorry, Miss Shaniqua, but we already hired David into our firm, so good luck out there finding another job. Shaniqua goes to another completely different establishment. Oh yeah, sorry, Shaniqua, we just hired Harold. Sorry, we can't do that. Better luck next time. And then the next 300 times, fucking Shaniqua ends up working at a strip club. Oh, they'll accept some Shaniquas there. Shaniqua knows how to shake that ass right, then Shaniqua's gonna get accepted immediately. Ain't no just racism there.
Really young,
But they're
he
not
had
getting.
multiple jobs, single parent, probably dealt with a lot of bullshit, and somehow.
She really is using white man talking points though, like for real, and it's so fucking sad to see black people behave like this. Good video! Yeah! Internet is bad.
She was able to make it. So how bad do you
But
want
it doesn't
the job?
matter because they're not even getting interviewed. They're not getting called in even initially.
Exactly.
No, because they have an ethnic sounding name. That's what I just said.
All of the interviews, they couldn't get any of
Is
them?
that what I said? Is
Not
all of
all,
them?
plenty.
I'm talking about disproportionate. I'm talking about disproportionate. a disproportionate way that black people are negatively affected. If they're unable to even get a call in to do an initial interview, you can't use the how bad do you want the job
Yeah,
thing.
they just have no chance by default, period.
Very disabled right now.
You
and I'm
are. You're the
very
one. No,
offended
you
by
are.
that.
You realize
No,
that.
I'm
No, no,
trying to
no. I'm
uplift
saying that.
people,
No,
Boom.
because
That
I'm
makes
actually saying that
excuses
there are
for 'em.
systems in place that are disadvantaging black people, and you're saying, well, it's true that black people are disproportionately in these negative circumstances, but that's because they're just fucked up. That's what you're saying right now.
I did not say that. I said, let's go with it. If you think this is the reality, if your reality is black people are disproportionately have a disadvantage, what now? That is the point that I'm trying to
I told
make.
you
What now?
First we need to come to an agreement that that's actually a reality, and so far we're not
Which
even
we
really getting past
can't.
that point.
Sure.
Nah.
Next.
Okay, great. So then we need to actually start looking at policy. So, for example, Joe Biden's doing something I really agree with, which is investing $2.5 billion into a specific black community that was torn apart by a highway that was installed. This is a good example of systemic racism, where, again, this was not anything that was intended to fuck over black people. It was just putting up a highway. But in doing so, they disproportionately negatively impacted black people, which makes it a system negatively impacting black people. That is systemic racism. And the way that we fix that is to further invest in
Here's
those
the thing,
communities.
Hunter,
Again,
that Hunter misses though.
provide jobs,
Here's the
provide
thing.
business.
Wait, pause. Okay.
Something more
Oh my
general.
god, pause. Here's a little thing that Hunter misses here when it comes to the highway thing where it's not intentional. True, but not really. So, like, when the people that want to put a highway somewhere, they look at the neighborhoods that they could possibly negatively affect. Man, this is a really nice white neighborhood. I don't want to do anything with that. Look at this really poor black neighborhood. They only give as much of a fuck about those blackies. So let's put the highway there. Who cares about those people? It's fine. I just want the highway. As long as it doesn't affect the good people over here, then it's all good. Which is still racism. It still is like semi-intentional systemic racism, but it's more like on the part that they just don't really care. They consider like black communities like fuck all nothing communities that contribute nothing because they're poor.
That's a very small percentage. I don't know how many people live near that bridge. So
Well, yeah, again, it's kind of the idea of investing in these communities and not just throwing money at them, not just giving everybody money, but rather investing in these communities, like I brought up, incentivizing businesses to actually go in these communities, which would provide jobs. I mean, I'm not a policymaker, so I have like some broad ideas and understandings of how we can ameliorate these flaws. But again, it's going to really come down to, first and foremost, we have to be willing to agree that this problem even exists.
Okay, you didn't really give me any examples. I'm just gonna say that. And I would hope that you would have those examples prepared.
Wait.
If you're telling me that.
Yeah, Hunter, I'm sorry, Hunter. I don't think you like
Don't mean anything.
that's not really a very good example, especially with the way.
You give me an example about some bridge somewhere.
It was a highway, and it was a specific example of where a policy was implemented that went right along the line of what I was advocating for in the broader community. That was a complete and total direct answer to your question.
Okay, and you're talking about going into these communities and investing. You're saying not to throw money at them, but investing, and you don't really know what that looks like. And the only thing that I can really go
Literally,
you're saying you're not familiar with policies. You're saying go back into these communities and invest. But what is that going to do if we're not teaching people personal responsibility, like you said?
Again, we
Personal
can
responsibility.
also do that, but you asked me for a policy, and I already told you there's not going to be a personal responsibility.
I hate how people think that like these people, when we say invest in communities, invest in this, invest in that, that we're just like taking away personal responsibility by default.
People from taking the drugs. That's not
I know it's not.
We
but
can
gonna
do
stop people
both.
getting
It's not
arrested for taking the
impossible,
drugs,
but
which
they
is
have a
gonna stop
narrative to
carrying
push, so they're
drugs
gonna say
partially, and then also
that
what that would
investing
do
is
would cut out the
automatically just
forward
removing
gains
personal
of
responsibility.
cartels, which oftentimes, again,
Very cool,
infiltrates
stupid
these black
tactic, but it
communities
works,
since they're already
unfortunately.
disproportionately poor and more adversarial with the police. So there's various different policies that we can look at. I just gave you two though off the top of my head, so I don't think it's fair for you to say that I don't have any policies.
Okay, oh, that was good. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Well, yeah. There was someone else
Yeah.
in the comments that said something I wanted to that racism requires intent. No, it doesn't. That's why
It really
differentiating
doesn't.
between personal, interpersonal racism and systemic racism. So again, the way I define systemic racism is a system that negatively impacts a racial group disproportionately. So you could even argue that the welfare state is systemic racism because it wasn't supposed to be racist, but it negatively impacted the black community. So that would be an example of quote unquote systemic racism from the Democrat side.
Yeah, it can be, and I definitely not oppose the idea of Democrats being racist because there are racist Democrats.
Yeah, you can talk. You guys want to duke it out? You want to get on here, start saying, do your thing?
Because, yeah, the main thing I had, Hunter, when you asked about snarkiness earlier.
It was, you said I was emotional. That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yes,
how
but I'm
emotional.
gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that with this.
Finish your degree and unlock your talent with Maryville.
This ad. This is why I unsubscribed, Hunter. You fucking
of our online bachelor
piece of
students
shit.
report
Fuck your
positive
mother.
career outcomes. Be brave.
Bitch ass. Fuck you.
With this point right here. You came into that debate ready to attack Gothix. Whether you want to admit it or not, that was your aim. The first thing you did was talk down to her, demean her.
Where?
And then
What?
something in the debate. I'm gonna get there.
She was doing more talking down to him than anything else. And pull identity. She did that while pulling identity politics.
You gave wrong information on both. You played semantics and you cherry picked the information.
Which info?
The Mr. Potato Head. She was correct. Earlier in the day, and I put them on there. You can go look. CNN and BBC both reported on it. Hasbro said point blank in the beginning they were getting rid of Mr. and Mr. That was their thing. Mr. and Mrs. were going away for a more gender neutral. I provided screenshots and I provided the links on the initial tweet where she first saw you.
What do they mean by saying more gender neutral, though?
Wait. I need to respond to this.
I'm not done yet.
Please, I need to. Because
you have to wait. I know you're biting at the chomp, but you gotta wait.
Yeah, because this is a common, like, stupid, retarded, conservative tactic. People like Ben Shapiro will throw, because they throw in, like, a machine gun talking points out over and over and over again. So it'll be difficult for you to even respond to all of these things at the same time. And if you slip up just once, they'll get you on that, and there's no backing out of it. You're locked. You're in. They got you. They win the debate, and they look infinitely smarter by doing so. When really they're just being stupid and implementing cheap tactics just to slip you up and get you triggered and riled up. And then the conversation devolves into juvenile behavior crap, and it's just a mess. They love it when things become a mess because they know their points are shit, so they can't logically like prove or logically debate these points from an actually decent or common sense perspective. So these cheap tactics is how they hide the fact that their points are garbage.
After they saw the whole backlash of where the money was going to come from, they were like, hold on, guys. It's just the umbrella. We're not getting rid of Mr. and Mrs. The first initial thing they told everyone was, yeah, we're getting rid of it. We want everyone to be their most authentic self. We're going to have empty spuds with just 42 accessories, and that's how it's going to be.
Is that what they said?
And afterwards, that is what they said. That is a direct quote from CNN. I have it up on there, and I can even put that little thing right up on here if you'd like.
So then it was
and
Gothix having old information, right? So
it was. That's what
I mean, I'm reading right here that they no, because what they wanted to do is it is becoming quote unquote gender neutral, I guess, if you want to say that, but they still kept the Mr. and Mrs.
They did.
No, because she wait.
I'm pretty sure they were just making the entire brand itself
they were changing this, and that was
gender neutral. It's not called Mr. Potato anymore. It's just called Potato Head, which will include Mr. and Mrs.
Gender neutral, if not part of queer theory.
It's not indoctrinating children.
It's not.
It is when you start giving it as children's toys.
Well, it's
how?
Not, because it's named Mr. Potato Head, and they kept the Mr. and Mrs. So
they did not until they realized the money wouldn't be there.
It's
And
a
that's
total.
my
What are you
first
talking about?
is you misrepresented the Dr. Seuss incident. That actually initially started in 2017
They're
when
so
Melania Trump
dumb.
donated a mural to.
No. Oh my god. No. No. Like I said, it's just making the brand, from what I understand, it's just making the brand itself gender neutral. It doesn't exclude Mr. and Mrs. at all. Because they're right there. You see them. The Mr. and the. Oh my god. It's so dumb. I don't even understand. If anything, it just opens the door for more creativity, if anything else. Because, like, from the way I see it, it's just like it's just Potato Head, which is just a base. You can make this Mrs. or Mr. because it's a Potato Head. You do with it what you want. It's like a Build-A-Bear. So if like literally, if Build-A-Bear was called like Mr. Build-A-Bear like years ago, and then they changed it to Build-A-Bear, conservatives will lose their mind saying it is like literal, like they're indoctrinating kids with trans propaganda, which is dumb. Making a brand gender neutral does not indoctrinate kids into trans. How? Did they even say anything about? Is there a trans Potato Head? Let's look. No, if I look that up, I'm gonna see some weird shit. Calling it Potato Head does not. It's just no. It's just a brand change, right? Oh my god. Potato Head tries to be more gender neutral. All right, I'm gonna look at this article myself. Wow, first sentence. I was correct. Hasbro was shopping the honorific quote-unquote Mr. from the quote-unquote Mr. Potato Head brand. It's just a brand change, people. All they did was change what, a logo? That's it. Mr. Potato Head is still there. His iconic appearance, mustache, and everything is still there. Name change, as well as making sure all feel welcome at the Potato Head world by officially dropping the Mr. from Potato Head brand name logo. I think it's kind of stupid, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know how many boys and girls felt excluded just because Potato Head had the word Mr. in it. I don't know. Maybe they did feel excluded. I don't know. I can't say for certain. But like, the rebrand toy launches this fall, blah blah blah. News of the name change merchant investors, blah blah blah. These character names. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head aren't going anywhere. Those character names will still appear on the boxes under the brand new name. Dog. The image of the box even shows it. Nigga. Bro. It is still just a brand name change. That's all it is. It's not like making it like, they're not making Potato Head androgynous. They're just like including Mrs. and Mr. into the overall brand thing. So where now it's not just Mr. Potato Head's brand, it's all the potato heads. The female potato heads and the male potato heads. That's it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Conservatives spin narrative so much. It's a shame that I have to like literally look up a fucking article on a fucking dinosaur toy. Literal, this is like a toy from ancient times. that nobody cares about. Who cares about Potato Head? Oh my god. How many people even buy Potato Heads for the children? Like, get an iPad or something. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Ugh. God. God. Lord help me.
To a library, and the librarian on staff looked the mural. I will admit, identified a few negligible things, and they were very racist for the time frame of now, but not when they came out.
Well,
And
sure,
the
yeah.
yes, and then nothing was said about it, even though the company made no notice until it was financially good for them to do. So that's my point. It's
Wait.
not that they initially realized it once the Asian hate came out. They were brought up about it 4 years prior. And
I know,
it was
so I'm
10
aware that the
not
books had
one.
controversy like surrounding them at times, sure. But Gothic's claim was that there was this mob that came out and then they changed it under pressure, and that is not what happened. There was
And
not
what
a
it was
there was hold on, there
online
was some
backlash.
there was some controversy and backlash maybe at some point or another. But again, you said it initially started in 2017. There wasn't a lot of backlash, and then they changed it 3 years later. How is this mob like that? How is this
Because
mob
what she
cancel
talked
culture?
about was that one online. Whether it's a small mob or a large mob, you wanted her to identify a mob.
The best part is that Gothix is so slimy and so snaky and so much of a
No,
pussy
I'm not. I think that
that
we're
she
mixing
gets
each other
her
here, because
a little
that's
personal
not the part I
attack
was
dog
asking
on
you to
Hunter
do.
because she doesn't know how to defend her points because she knows they're garbage. So it'll sound better to have two retards defend the retarded points to seem smarter, just to trip Hunter up and make him look like, and get him on defensive mode to make him like literally look bad, like some white weird emotional liberal. So
She said that there
sneaky
was a
and devious, disgusting. She's a
that
coward.
caused this to
Fuck
happen,
Gothix.
that was a result of cancel culture.
God, she is such a
Today we're talking
bitch. She's
all
a
things
dog.
Pokemon
That's
card
what
business related, which is buying and
the funniest part about this is, where is it? There was a comment. He's beta for not debating Bosch. Good stuff. Gothix is painful to watch. Where is it? There is not any saving Gothix. There is no saving her. I'm not a conservative. Proceeds to be a conservative for 42 minutes and 55 seconds. Where was it? Whatever, it's fine. Like, basically what the comment was saying, man, I really hope she debates Bosch. No, she's not gonna debate Bosch because she's a coward and a pussy, which is why she avoided him so much when it wasn't even a debate setting. It was just like a crowd thing. They were all just eating, and she avoided them so much because she's a slimy, pussy ass, stupid ass, fucking bitch coward. Because she knows the talking points are trash.
cards on the app Macari. And if you don't know who
There's no way she's gonna debate Vosh, because Vosh will not hold back. He will embarrass her, and she will cry about it, like behind the scenes. She even cries about it, thinking about debating Vosh, which is why she avoided him so much.
The books were controversial at a time.
Pussy.
Of course, they did contain outdated imagery, but they said, the company, the foundation deliberately said that they consulted experts and teachers, and that's when they made the decision. And this just happened.
Yes, it happened, and your claim was they did it directly in relation to Asian hate. No, they waited till it was most profitable to do it. And my point is, Hunter,
how do you know that? How do you know that they waited till it was most profitable?
You just look at
because it's clearly obvious. And my point is this: they came into the debate for overarching generalized themes about cultural appropriation, and you hyper focused on two small issues, and
you can't get mad at me for calling out missing.
Yes, I can, when your entire purpose is to try to make her look stupid and you couldn't even quote it.
What?
Okay, first of all, I did quote it. I read both the articles during the debate, and I just read it.
Why are you here to defend her? She can defend herself. She's an adult. Lord Jesus, you guys are pussies.
She said she was wrong on it.
No,
I said
Gothix
that
is a
she was
pussy.
wrong
She's a
about it
bitch.
indoctrinating kids and being queer theory, and that it was actually they just got rid of the umbrella name Mr. Potato Head. It became neutral or whatever, and then they had a Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
Black people.
And also,
Never be like
there was
this.
another thing also I wanted to mention too that Gothix said, because Gothix mentioned that you wouldn't be a problem if they got rid of a book that was from the 50s that no one was really buying anymore. But that was literally then what you made the argument with the Dr. Seuss thing.
I never said that. I never
You said if
that.
they
You're the one that
canceled.
brought up Dr. Seuss.
No,
I said
you
that
said
that
if
book had not been purchased. I don't think any book.
you said if they
is
canceled a book that was from the
canceled.
40s that no one was reading, that wouldn't really be that big of a deal. And then you told me that the Dr. Seuss books didn't have any sales.
That's not what I said. I said my point that I was trying to make is, again, I don't care about the semantics. What the reason was of why they got rid of it. I'm looking at the cause and the consequence. What happened as a result and how it connects to everything else. That's why I said it has to do with indoctrination, and it would
Indoctrination?
to take that initiative to want to know what do I mean by that and how was this all correlated. But my point that I'm trying to make is that thing with the Mr. Potato Head and all that stuff, I don't care about what's happening. I just care about like
Yes, you do.
obvious patterns. Like why is it happening? And
Well, because you're trying to make it into this like Marxist big like overarching thing about how there's like the Marxisms entwined to everything or whatever. But
how much do you honestly? How much? And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be condescending. How much do you know about Marxism? Like
not very much. I don't follow Marxism, but also I reject the idea that everything that like gender neutral.
Educating yourself that this
Because
is
I don't
false.
need to be educated on Marxism to recognize that anti-racism and accepting LGBT people is not a Marxist thing. But
Thank
anyway,
you.
I mean, I thought
Jesus
that,
Christ.
I just wanted to ask. I thought that you wanted personally. I thought that you wanted to wrap this conversation up. I'm fine if you want to keep on talking, but I just wanted to know from Starsan how.
I wanted to come to a middle ground, but I don't think we're gonna do that.
No, that's not gonna happen because you're a snake.
Agendas on children again, telling kids the truth and the facts about like,
Coming to a
gender
middle
and
ground
sex.
would be Hunter fully
At,
agreeing
like,
with you
at
on
appropriate
everything.
age
That's what your
is
middle ground
not a
is.
bad thing. It's not indoctrination.
You're childish.
Indoctrination.
Okay, anti-racism is racist. read what's in anti-racism. It is so unbelievably racist and it's so unbelievably divisive.
Huh?
And I know that you're doing things out of the kindness.
What's so divisive about this? I don't know. I kind of respect my white friends for actually speaking truth to power.
What I'm telling you is that you are not in a position to say that this is false when I'm responding about Marxism when you do not fully grasp what Marxism is.
I don't need to fully grasp what Marxism is to have conversations about systemic racism or LGBT acceptance.
It's not just a
because when you come on
Marxist
here and say things
problem.
like, oh, the Mr. Potato thing is a Marxist tactic. That just sounds like a fucking delusion at that point, honestly. But either way, I appreciate the conversation. I'm sorry we weren't
So
able to
yeah,
common ground.
Gothic's bad. Black people, we gotta do better than this. That's all I have to say. I'm going to eat my M&Ms now.